Hello, everybody. What I will be doing today with you is creating some ellipses that we are going to measure and calculate their eccentricity. Okay. So the way you create an ellipse and the way that we often create an ellipse in lab is by taking a string and some push pins and looping the string and push pins together, and then taking a pencil and swirling it around and creating an ellipse. And this is usually what we will do during a eccentricity lab. However, we don't really have that ability anymore. You know, living in the world that we're living in, we can't really share these lab materials. So how we're going to do this lab is I will create your ellipses, and then you, using the ruler on Schoology, will measure the distance between the foci and measure the length of the major axis to determine its eccentricity. Okay, so what we're going to do today, I'm going to make 3 ellipses, and using those 3 ellipses, you will measure their eccentricities, and then you're going to compare those 3 ellipses. Okay, so the first thing that we do is we create a string, okay, and then I'm going to take my thumbtacks and I'm going to poke them through my foci. If you notice on this piece of paper here, we have 6 points. These 6 points are going to be 6 separate foci for 3 different ellipses. The first ellipse we're going to do is we're going to use foci A and foci B on this diagram. So I'm going to take my push pins and I'm going to push them through foci A and through foci B. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my string, loop it around like so, like that. And now I'm going to take my pen, make sure this isn't wiggle woggly. I'm going to take my pen, and now I'm going to take my pen and I'm just going to draw around in a circle. Okay, I'm actually finding that my ellipse is going up off of the paper, which is okay. It just means I don't draw it down there. Okay, and again, I'm off of the paper, and now I'm back up and around. Okay. So there we go. Now I've gone all the way around. I now have my ellipse. There we go. Okay. A little messy, but it is what it is. Okay. So now here I've got my first ellipse. This is my ellipse with foci A and foci B. So again, to find the eccentricity of this, you're going to measure the distance between A and B, and then you're going to measure that length of that major axis from the left side to the right side. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to draw my second ellipse. And for this second ellipse, I'm going to use foci C and foci D. So I'm going to push my push pin through the center of C, push my push pin through the center of D, loop my string around, like so. Now I'm going to take my pencil, push it in through here, and now I'm just going to loop around like so. Little lumpy because of the knot, so I'm just going to go back around and neaten that up a little bit. Okay. So now what I'm left with is this. We got a brand new foci using points C and points D as our foci. So again, now for creating this, you're just going to measure the distance between the foci, C and D, and then the length of the major axis from the left side to the right side. Okay. And finally, we are going to create one more ellipse. This ellipse uses points E and F for our foci. So I'm going to push my push pin through E, push my push pin through F, take my string. My string is going to just barely fit around it. Take my pencil. And now I'm just going to loop around like so. Okay. And you might make some mistakes when you draw these in real life, whenever we get to that. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's just about being good enough. Again, my knot got in the way, so let me redo this little area over here. And there we go. All right. So now here I have my last ellipse using points E and F as my foci. So again, to find the eccentricity, measure the distance between your foci, measure the length of your major axis, and then solve using the equation.